my new video setup. Hopefully this works really well. But one of the things that I wanted to do was, we have so many great things in Southern California to go out and dive and catch whatever we want to do. And what I wanted to do is start showing how to clean those things that you see out in the water. So whether it be something like these giant Keyhole limpets or scallops or fish, whatever it might be, just going through and showing how exactly do you prep it once you get it out of the water. The thing that you need is, of course, whatever you're going to clean up. The first one going to be, for me, are these giant Keyhole limpets. I always like to have a trash bag here so that I can throw all the leavings in. If you have a garden or something like that, take all your leavings, bury them down 6 to 8 inches or something where if you have any pets or any wildlife around, they can't dig down and get them, but they're really, really good for the soil and amendments to any kind of soil that you get. Second, a good sharp knife. You really want to have a good sturdy knife. I usually have something smaller, sturdy like this, so that I can get in there, cut through, and really make a clean work of it. Water, a bowl full of water so that you can wash as you go and keep everything clean. And of course, a plate to put all of the clean items on. You're going to clean up these giant Keyhole limpets. So when you get them in the water, they actually look like this. And so as you can see, they're generally usually black. And I have scrubbed this one down. So basically what's going to happen is whatever you put it in is going to turn it black because all this stuff comes off. The first thing I generally like to do is take it in, wash it with some kind of scrub, just scrub it off, and then it'll come out just like this, and that's where we can start. As you can see, this one, the black one, is a little bit more loose right now. It's just kind of chilling here, so it's bigger. But the other one, since I washed it, is all crunched up inside, and it does make it just a little bit easier to cut open. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna get both of these cleaned up and be right back. As you can see, I cleaned up both giant Keyhole limpets. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut them. So first thing you're gonna do is I'll use the smallest one first, is you're just gonna come right off the top because there's meat right here. And so what you're going to do is you kind of peel away. So you're gonna do that on both sides. It's easier just to cut on both sides, slice it down, make it so that you can peel away that meat on the top side. Once you're able to get inside, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut right underneath, right into that Keyhole limpet. So I just come up, and what I wanna do is I wanna, kind of like everything else, you really wanna kind of follow right up into the shell. You wanna remove all this meat right from the shell. It's kind of messy, so I'm going to do it over this bowl because it's just going to get everywhere. Be careful because it is a mussel, so you got to cut it away and you got to take it off here. And like I said, it is easier if you cut away all this top kind of membrane that's on top of the shell. You'll be able to really get in there, clean it all out. Once you cut it all up, there you go. I'm able to remove it away. There you go. 2 pieces. As you can see, there's a ton of mud, just kind of gunk in there. That's all the stuff that we want to get rid of. So I'm gonna move all this over so that I can throw it right in this bag here, get it all cleaned up. So I want to get rid of all the guts and stuff. I don't want any of that in here. So as I remove all the gunk, you'll see there's the mouth. We're gonna go ahead and cut that out when we get there. Gonna wash this up a little bit, get rid of all the guts and everything, the nastiness in there. Take the water, once you're done washing this all out, take the water, add it to your plants, because don't forget, all this stuff in here is nutritious and for your plants. So it'll create a lot of good soil, and you just make sure to bury like all the gunk and stuff down so that none of the pests or any animals will get to it. But it's really, really good for your garden. As you can see, I cleaned it all out. There's a little bit of the gunk. We got it all out. We're all good. So So now I'm gonna go ahead and put this aside, and we're gonna start cleaning this up a little bit. So what I wanna do, you have the orange part down here. So this is the foot, this is where everything goes. We have this black piece here. We're basically gonna remove anything that's black, anything that's orange. I've heard of people keeping the orange on. I'm not a big fan of it because really that's part that's external and goes across the ground and stuff like that. So I actually like to remove it, but we'll get in here and we'll start cleaning everything up. You can leave this outside if you want, the black with the black on it. You can clean it up a little bit more if you want, but it is edible. You can eat it if you want to. I highly recommend when you are cutting, cut away from your hand because there's certain spots that are harder than others and you will cut through. You'll also just shoot through and you don't want your hand to be there. There you go. Cut the mouth out. Now you can just go through and start slicing it up. So what I'll do is I'm gonna start out with just big slices. I want to clean it up a little bit more. Just get a couple of the pieces that might need to be trimmed up a little bit more, get those cleaned up a little bit. But overall, as you can see, this is basically all meat here. You can clean a little bit more around the edges, but overall, this is pretty much done. So at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take this back in. I'm gonna go ahead and wash all this off. I'm gonna keep all this meat and just tenderize it up a little bit. So moving on to tenderization. So there's a couple ways you can do this. It's very similar to like an abalone or something of that nature where you do have to tenderize it. I mean, this thing is hard as rock. So what you wanna do is there's a couple ways that I've seen. One of the great ways is take a metal spoon and a heavy metal spoon and hit it 10 to 15 times on each side. What that will do is it's going to make all that muscle release and then it'll be tenderized really well. You can also take something heavy like a cast iron pan or something like that and just wail on it. Get some of that aggression out, have a little fun with it, but you really want to get rid of that rock texture that it has with it. All right, I'm gonna put all the meat over here for now, and then I'm gonna clean up this big limpet, and we will go in and I'll show you the finished product of how we cook it. Look at the size of the meat, just from that big one. So this is what I'm talking about. These are all over. They're plentiful in Southern California, just like the turban snails. What you want to do is really make sure you clean them up really good. So out of two of these, this is what I got. And this is a really good meal. I'm probably gonna do some kind of stir fry with these, slice them up super thin. So if you slice these up super thin, you don't need to tenderize them quite as much. I'll still do probably a heavy spoon and hit them 10 to 12 times each. But what I'm gonna do is slice it super thin. I'm going to toss it probably in some butter and some Italian mix, and it comes out absolutely amazing. Throw it over some rice. Okay, so I've got my giant Keyhole Limpit. I'm actually gonna slice it super thin, put it on top of some sushi rice. Take a heavy metal spoon and you can come in and just tap. You're gonna tap along and you're just gonna hit it. You're gonna tenderize it up. Or if you want to take a tenderizer, I just took out the dog's head, and here we go with a tenderizer. I can take that and just remove this water. All I'm gonna do is hit it a few times. Do the same on the other side. Here we go. We'll give her some Keyhole. Ow, that was something else. You like some Keyhole Limpit? Is it good? Yeah? See? Doggies even approved. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some butter, going to put it in the pan. We're going to take our chopped up giant Keyhole Limpit and we're going to throw it in here. We're going to grab some Italian seasoning. Throw it in there. These two are still waiting for some food. Alright, gonna get it in there, get that thing crackling, and then toss it in. There you go, we got it. It's cooking up in the butter. Now we're gonna add some seasoning. Let's get some good Italian seasoning, just thrown all over these. I am gonna add a little Cajun salt to it, just to give it a little bit something different. There we go, a little Cajun seasoning. Add it in there. Alright. Oh yeah. And then while that's doing that, I am actually going to prepare my sushi. I've got in a pickle. So this is a local Southern California pickling company that met over at Common Space Brewery. This is a soy sauce based one. And what I did was take one of the cucumbers and I chopped it up. I'm gonna make a little slaw out of it, and then, or a little relish out of it. And then I've got some chopped up ginger that I'm gonna throw in. And I've got my really sliced thin giant limpet here. And then ginger right on top. Definitely not the most beautiful plated sushi ever. There we go. There we go. A little bit of ginger. Got chili oil. Never had this stuff. Oh, this stuff's insane. All right, so time to try all this out. Let's see how it goes. Cheers. All right, let's try out this butter sauteed with Italian seasoning and Cajun seasoning giant limpet. So smooth. The one thing I would say about any of the sushi, so I do need to slice it a little bit thinner, and I do need to actually tenderize it just a bit more, just because it was very chewy. The first couple were very chewy, but still absolutely amazing. If you like this video, definitely hit like, and if you're not already subscribed, click or tap subscribe to check out even more videos as they come out. Cheers, and thank you to everybody that's been watching so far.